And now here we go again.
It's time for another episode of those shit-talking guys, full of opinions on games, music, cultures, and other random shit, all while humiliating each other. This is Generation Flip. Don't forget, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And now, wrapping it up, here's your hosts.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to Generation Flip. I'm your host, Mr. Flip. We got a great show for you, but before I forget, don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button. I got my co-host on the side of me from San Jose, California, Mr. Big Brown.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I can't wait. We got a fantastic show today. Coming out of Studio 2526 out of Burbank. I can't tell you who it is because my man Flip, he's going to tell you somebody fantastic today.
We got a great one. Straight up from studio, we got Mr. Rodney Allen Rippy. Mr. Rodney, you've been a friend of mine. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Let's take it back to where it all started from.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, it started out 1972. A lot of people out there will probably remember me doing the Jack in the Box commercials. And so I was 3.5 years old, grew up here on the west side of Long Beach here in beautiful California. And it was just something that how it all happened, it was never planned. You know, I didn't come from an entertainment family. My mom, my dad, nobody in the family was involved in entertainment. And just one day I was watching The Little Rascals, and I was laughing and sitting there having a good time. And again, I'm 3.5 years old. And my mom walks in and goes, "What's so funny?" And I pointed at the TV, and so she goes, "Oh, you're laughing at buckwheat." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Buckwheat.
Yeah, my mom was like, "What, you think you can do that? You think you could be on TV?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And my mom was like, "No, really? Seriously?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And my mom was like, "You sure you wouldn't be afraid of all those cameras and people?" I'm like, so my mom walks over to the yellow pages and she starts flipping through the yellow pages. And back in the 70s, there used to be talent managers and agents in the yellow pages. Now, some of them were kind of scandalous. They're a little slick, little greasy.
Right.
But the funny thing is my mom made a few phone calls, and after a couple tries, she actually hit a really great agent, and her name was Dorothy Deotis. And so Dorothy actually signed me, my sister Beverly Lee, and my brother Kenneth Wayne up. And so we all started to kind of go out. My sister, she went out first, and she did a commercial for Banquet's Fried Chicken, the frozen chicken and so my brother, he got a call for the Coca-Cola commercial. Remember, I like to teach the world to sing.
Yeah. Right.
And then I got the call for Jack in the Box. And so I was the baby of the family. And it was one of those things that, 3.5 years old. And when my agent called, she said, "Hey, Jack in the Box is in big trouble. They're in foreclosure. They don't know what's going to happen, but they're doing this one last Hail Mary. I mean, they're chucking it for the end zone. They said that they need a mascot. They need a kid, boy, girl, black, white, Asian, Hispanic. They didn't care. They just needed a kid." So turns out I got the call. The call, and then I went out on the audition, and man, I walk in and there's 100 kids there. So it was a huge casting, and wow, I just went out for the audition, brother.
Among all those kids, man, I could imagine that's just fate right there for you, buddy.
Oh, it was fate, and nobody knew that it was going to turn out that way. And I went in for the audition, and then I got a call back. So I went back the next day, and believe it or not, I went in, there was 100 kids called in. They called me back the next day. They cut the field of 50. They called me in number 1, and I landed the Jack in the Box campaign.
Nice.
That's beautiful, man. I got a little something for you guys. Speaking of that clip, I got a little something here that I digged up here, Rodney. Let me see if I can share it with you guys. Let's take a look at this.
Rodney, you still do the same pose.
No.
He still looks the same, I think.
I remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday, my man.
Hey, it's all good.
Right?
Here's a little clip of what we're talking about back in. What would you say that back in the 80s, early 80s, this came out?
Oh, no, that's the actual one of the Jack in the Box commercials from the 70s.
Wow.
Hi.
Take a look at this.
Haven't I seen you on TV before?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Rodney.
Rodney what?
Rodney Allen Rippy.
What's that in front of you?
A jumbo jack
A jumbo jack.
from Jack in the Box.
Did you ever get a bite out of it?
And too big to eat.
You think you'll be able to get a bite now? Give it a try, Rodney. Tell us how you like it.
I can't.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wonderful. That just lifted everything for you, pretty much.
Well, that
right?
was, that's how it, that was one of the commercials. We did a whole series of commercials, and I was very fortunate. I mean, Jack in the Box is an amazing company. I mean, at that time, they were out there and they were banging heads with all the rest of the burger companies. It was the burger wars pretty much. And so that commercial and that whole campaign, the Jack in the Box campaign for me ran for like 14 years, and we did a whole series of commercials. There were, the doll, Mattel Toy produced a doll after me. I actually had an opportunity to record an album. I'm the youngest person to ever chart on Billboard, so I still have that record.
Wow.
And yeah.
That's
so,
amazing.
The funny thing is, one of the commercials had a jingle in it, and it was called Take Life a Little Easier. And so that actually became the title of my album. And so with the commercial running and the album started popping, it somehow jumped as a novelty onto radio, and people were listening to it. And it's really crazy. Chris, I have to send you a link.
I'll send it. I'll dump it on the YouTube channel. You guys take a look at it.
Yeah, Sonny and Cher actually sang my song on their show.
Cher too. Wow.
Sonny and Cher actually sang my song on their show.
Well, I saw a clip. It's on it's obviously on YouTube. There was a clip with you. I think at the musical awards or something.
That was the very first American Music Awards.
Live from Hollywood, the American Music Awards.
Do you know the next award?
The next award is for the favorite pop group.
Do you know the nominations?
No.
You don't know the nominations? Okay, well, maybe I can help you. No, that was the last one. Have you ever heard of the Carpenters?
No.
Okay, well, that's one of them. Have you ever heard Gladys Knight and the Pips?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's another one. And let's see. Well, no, not yet. Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. Do you know them?
No.
Okay. Well, the winner is... Okay.
Do you know what this is? Me neither.
Do you mind if an old timer helps you?
No.
Okay, the winner is the Carpenters.
I understand the problem that you're facing right now. I think you're going to outgrow this, gentlemen. Some of us, unfortunately, are forced to live with it on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm trying to make my directorial debut.
Nice.
And so all of this kind of leads me to 2526 Studios. And so I'm actually the executive studio unit manager here. And we're a sound stage here in Burbank. We're about 3 miles away from all the big boys and Warner Brothers and Disney and all that stuff. And we're what you call an insertion stage. So we have and what you see here, this is a green screen. So this is literally a very bright green, as you can see, but this is for all the people. And I know you're into gaming. This is where it goes down. When you see all of the animation and the gaming people, they build things on sets like this, that's green. And so we have one of the nicest green screens here in Burbank, and we're looking forward to reaching out to a lot of people, and also Chris, and also to the Flip Show, man. I want you guys to be able to have an opportunity, man, to come down. We're going to have an open house, hopefully Sony cameras, and hopefully some of these other big, movie parts and their movie company pieces, from like lighting and sound. We're going to have a big open house here, and open bar, and a little bit of great music. And so come on down, hang out, elbow rub, meet some cool people. It's going to be on and popping here. We're going to have our big grand open. So definitely, man, you got to invite both you guys.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that handout, man. Ron, you got anything you want to add to?
I'll tell you what, man, I'm starstruck because me and this guy go back. I mean, it's so funny when you grow up in a certain time and era. It was like I knew you.
Well,
right? That's what it did back in our time. Today, forget it. It's all, like you said, it's all this.
The generation has officially flipped.
Exactly. There you go. Right? Well, and listen, I'm just a local guy, man. I grew up in Long Beach. I'm always going to be down with people. And, I mean, I'm the type of guy, Chris would tell you, I'm the type of guy, I'll change my oil today and I'll be walking on a red carpet tonight. It don't matter to me. It's just, it's like going to a conference. If you're a doctor and you got to go to a conference, you got to go to a conference. And so for me, that's some of the things that I do. Oh, one last thing. I'm working on a very cool project called the Celebrity Shootout. Now, you know how all these celebrities got Lambos and Corvettes and Porsches. Well, I want to bring all of the top celebrities, the A-listers, people from the music world, VIPs, and I want them all to come to a local drag strip, and they're going to drag race for charity. And I'm working on trying to secure a broadcast deal for this because I want to raise millions of dollars for charities. And so just picture Jay Leno pulling up on the drag strip next to Tim Allen, and they both have millions and millions of people who love them.
Right.
Well, I want them to reach out to their social media and say, hey, listen, I've got to raise Tim Allen. And Tim Allen said, hey, I got to raise Jay Leno. People at home can make a donation. They can make a donor bet. And so they can wage money, but 100% of the money is going to charity.
Nice.
And so between that, I really predict that this will be one of the biggest, one of the fastest fundraising events ever in broadcast. And so I'm making my phone calls. Right. And wow, last but not least, I'm working on a project called What's Cooking with Kids Coast to Coast. And so this goes back to the STEM. I'm working with a great guy out of Virginia, out of Richmond, Virginia. And we're putting together a program with the STEM Innovation Network because we want to take a program nationwide to every underserved community in the nation. And we're taking programs and things to help kids. And the show, What's Cooking with Kids Coast to Coast, we're going to take kids from these inner city communities, but we're going to pair them up with the top chefs of the world, and we're going to teach them how to cook. And we also have an organic garden back on the East Coast, back in Virginia. And so you're going to be able to see kids getting into gardening, because one of the most precious resources that we have beyond anything is food. And so think about it. Back in the day, we all grew up, and I don't know if you guys, but even when I lived in Long Beach, I'm on TV, my mom and dad on the west side of Long Beach, and our backyard had a garden. And my dad's growing corn. And my dad was from North Carolina. Well, my dad was from Ohio, but my mom was from North Carolina, and they spent time back there. But the crazy thing is, they brought the country to Long Beach. And so, Dad, he was all cool, but you walk around back, and it was a freaking garden in the back. You know,
organic farm.
Yeah, Pop had his little organic farm. Man, we had corn and we had tomatoes and okra and man, we had fruit trees and my mom was the most perfect mom in the world because she was always in there canning and making stuff. I tell you, my mom was like, it was a different era back then because my mom was the type of person who was like, she worked really hard and then she would can all these things and it would be stored. Man, we could eat completely through winter. If we wanted to, the refrigerator was packed. There was tons of preserves and jams and jellies and man, it was just a different era, man. But I think it's great. And you know what you guys are doing and it's funny because Chris, you guys are new school. And so you're still new school and old school, and that makes it beautiful, man.
I kind of consider myself middle school because I kind of my father always told me that I had an old spirit, even when I was younger. So I kind of communicate well with elders older than me, and then also the same kind of tier as I am, and. I don't know. I just find it more fascinating. I find myself surrounding by more mature and older people, and for me, I kind of like learn from their experience and their knowledge. You know what I mean? I gain knowledge from that, and it's always been me. Always been me. So that's hence why I created this channel, Generation Flip, because I notice generations after generations, they always change. But there's always certain things that still remain the same. Music, cultures, you dig deep into cultures, you dig deep into music. And even nowadays you get music that's looped from music from the past, from the old school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they just regenerated over and over again, So that's how I created this podcast show, and I enjoy doing it. I got Brown to come on the show with me, and I'm grateful for that. I also want to talk about, you have something also lined up, which is pretty cool. I found it. I saw some pictures and stuff. You're into this hot rod stuff. You want to tell me more about this?
Yeah, well, I grew up messing around on cars, and I've restored a couple 1968 Camaros, a couple 1968 Mustangs, and I got a 71 big block Corvette right now. And so hot rods are where it's at, and a lot of times I think young people are really missing the joy of actually putting something together. And when you put a car together, you have a whole different respect for the car, people in your car. You're not going to be riding a bunch of lugheads around in your car because you're like, man, hey, easy on my doors, man. Are you crazy? Because when you spend good money on restoring a car, and you become a literally like a star. When you have a really cool car. And so I think that's what we're trying to push. And again, I love all of the technology. I love all the electric stuff. Matter of fact, me and my buddy Bill, we're tied in with a great car company called Lucid Motors. And if you ever get a chance, just go online, type in LUCID, Lucid Motors, electric car, 1,000 horsepower, 500 some mile range, pure luxury. And those are the type of things that really make things happen. And so Bill and I, we're working on a show called Hidden Garages. And so that's, again, tied in the STEM. We're trying to get the kids motivated. And when hidden garages, it's really about people who have these amazing car collections hidden away from people. And I've walked into people's garages and they've got like $2 million worth of cars and they're hidden. And you're like, God, can you believe this? And they've got these beautiful cars and they're like, shh, they don't want people to know. And they take the time. Huh?
I got something, a little sneak peek to Hidden Garage.
Oh, okay.
Let's take a look at what Rodney here is talking about.
Hey, how you doing? It's Rodney Allen Rippy, and as you can see, this is what it's all about. Hidden garages. We're getting ready to bring one of the hottest new car shows that you have ever seen. And it's going to be me, Bill Montgomery, Mad Mike, Hot Rod Holly, and we're going to be taking our viewers to exclusive hidden garages. Get ready. It's coming at you. It's the Hidden Pioneers Show, Hidden Garages. He built all of them himself. And I mean, and it was funny because I looked at one of those cars. I said, man, it must have took you a long time to put this thing together. He said, no, about 3 months. I said, 3 months? He goes, yeah, about 3 months. And when you got it, do you know what type of cash flow you have to turn a car like that? And I was like, wow. Most people are like, oh man, I built this car. It took me like 3 years. And this dude flips the car in like 3 months. I'm like, wow. But, you know, matter of fact, one other thing, me and Bill, we did this past February, we did something called the Global Diversity Summit. We are already set up for 2022, the Global Diversity Summit. And it's amazing. We actually had people from NASA and people from Lucid Motors and all these huge car companies and people. They were all there and they were talking to the young people, and it was a live stream, 14 hours of programming in 2 days. And this year we're going to bump it up to 3 days. And I believe it's going to be February 24th, 25th, and 26th. So make sure you go to hiddenpioneers.com, hiddenpioneers.com. Make sure you check that out. Because and this is something that you can share with your children, teachers, communities can get involved and make sure that the young people are watching it. It's going to be an amazing time. Last year we had over 245,000 people, and that was just the first time we rolled it out. This year we're hoping to get at least 1 million views on it.
Wow. Well, hey, and I don't mean to interrupt, but you said Lucid. I seen them. I went to dinner.
Westfield.
Westfield.
Yeah, there you go.
Westfield in San Jose. I went to dinner and they have a huge high-end mall in the Bay Area, right across from Santana Row.
Yep.
And I'm walking through the mall. We just had dinner with a friend of mine, and we're walking, and she goes, "Oh, what's that?" And I look and I go, "Lucid." I go, "This must be like a competitor to Tesla."
It is.
I don't know. I didn't know what it was, but when you said it, I go, "That's I seen it." It's at the Westgate. Not Westgate. West Valley. West Valley Mall in the Bay Area here in San Jose. They have a beautiful showroom, and the car looks wow.
I've never seen one.
Amazing.
Hey, Chris, go to the Century Plaza.
Okay, I've been there.
Century City Mall. It's right downstairs, and let me tell you something. Go in there and see the car. Again, 1,000 horsepower, 500-mile range, 1,000 watt stereo.
Wow.
And the video, you have to go, if you go to Hidden Pioneers, you'll probably see the video, but the girl who designed the audio, it was an audio engineer who designed the audio for the car.
Wow.
Elusive car? Is that what it's called? Elusive car?
Yeah.
Lucid, Lucid.
Yeah.
Lucid Motors. Go to lucidmotors.com.
Yeah, I was going to take a picture of it. That would have been perfect because then I could have put it on the show. But it is
so beautiful. We're dealing with the head designer from Lucid. Great guy. His name's Darren. This guy is so humble, and he talks to young people, and he tells his story, and he says, you know, when I was young, and a lot of people don't know this, a lot of young people out there, you can't be afraid to get out of your community. Sometimes you might have an opportunity. You might have to leave your friends behind, your family behind, your comfort zone, and take these opportunities for these internships. And that's what happened. He had an opportunity and he left his friends behind. He went all the way back east. He did an internship. Next thing you know, he's working for BMW over in Europe, and he cut his teeth. Now he's the head designer of $1 billion car company.
Yeah.
The head designer. And I mean, it don't get no better than that, you know. And when you see this car, it will blow mind.
I'm watching it. I'm looking at it right now on screen, and that thing, it says Lucid Air, and this machine is bad. Excuse me, ass.
Yeah,
that is badass.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's a beautiful car. It isn't just beautiful to look at. These guys are giants when it comes to technology. That car, beyond being luxury, there's so much put into that car. And just to let you know, the guy that owns Lucid, the head guy, he left Tesla and started Lucid.
Wow. So it's an American-made vehicle.
Oh yeah, it's made out of Arizona. The plant is in Arizona.
Nice.
And and let me tell you something, they sourced talent from all around the world, the best people so the company is multicultural, and they all get together. They don't care about people's religion. They don't care about what they look like. There's people in there with dreadlocks and people clean cut, and man, it's crazy. But they are the best at what they do, and that's why Lucid is. That's why the car looks the way it does. It's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome.
That looks like a nice car, guys. Check that out. I'll put that in the link too. But that is a nice car. I'm looking at the monitor right now.
I want one. Well, me and Bill are.
I actually like that one before over the Tesla. That looks really super nice.
A lot better. To me, it did too.
I mean, Tesla's a great car. Don't get me wrong. Very great car. It's just I'm not attractive to the design. There's especially the SUV that they have. I'm not with that hump back on the top. I'm not really attracted to that. This one, my friend, this one is very beautiful, especially the one they have ad right now. That thing is beautiful. And
Lucid, they're looking at making an SUV too.
This
so
one
if they come
says
out with
69,000. 69,000. Starting at 69,000.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, hey brother, we got the hookup. If you want one, just holler at your boy. We make some stuff happen.
Rodney, you just got a new best friend over here in the North.
There you go, man. I know. Hey, we know people who know people.
Right.
I'll tell you, this weekend I went to a car show. So I've always wanted to have a classic car, just like you, Rodney. I've always wanted a Harley Davidson. So I went out and bought a Harley. And just like you said, there's nothing better than putting this thing together. I customized it from the front wheel to the air suspension to all the chrome, and I'll tell you, I have a transformation picture. When I bought it.
Right.
Now, and everybody's like, wow. And when I get on that thing and we ride, people are always blowing their horns or the stoplight, and they're like, wow, how much did that thing cost you? And it was just like, not too bad. I never say numbers. But and they're like, man, that thing is super clean, and it makes you feel good. Like you said, it's pride. And when we pull our bikes up, we got about 14 of us that ride the coast.
Nice.
We park. Nice. We give everybody plenty of room. We don't want nobody to bang our bikes.
No, well, and be careful. Yeah, be careful. But you know what? It's nice to get out and cruise, and you cruise with your friends, and you build a bond. You really build a bond. And that's what the Hidden Pioneers, that's what we're doing. We also have a group of kids called the Artemis Pioneers. These are young people that we're really trying to push them towards NASA and space. And see what you're doing, that's what young kids need. They need things to get their hands busy. They need to work and and have that type of skill set. You're building that thing from the ground up, and it's personalized. That's that's a piece of you.
Yep. And no bike's the same.
No.
Every bike, out of 14 of us, if you line us all up, I got photos, all our own different flavor, right? I have my flavor. I like that sinister look. I like the black wheel, 21-inch spoked out, airbag, blacked out. I love that look with chrome. And another guy may have red and silver. Another guy may have blue and black. It's just so creative, just like a hot rod, just like a roadster.
That's right.
Touch on it. So that's the fun thing about it. But you're right. And getting kids involved, like I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she just looked at that. She goes, I said, would you like it? And she says, I love it. And I took her to a car show. And it was a lowrider car show here in San Francisco. They have lowriders, so they have lowrider cars, hot rods, they have motorcycles. I took her, and she's never seen anything like it. And
there you go.
She walked in, and she was just
her eyes are.
Yeah. She's like, I love it. I go, really?
That's a great daddy-daughter day, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the whole thing. And matter of fact, we've met some of the top female car builders. There's a group out. I mean, there's several groups of women, and the shop is all women, and they get down. They turn out cars that make some guys stuff look crazy, and I'm like, wow.
I bet.
Yeah, I mean,
I bet.
Oh yeah, it's hot, man.
I
you
bet.
know, it's all about talent and putting your hand to it. You know.
Yeah.
I bet.
That value. You gotta have that value. I was instilling my kids. You gotta have value.
Yeah.
That's something that's gonna set you apart from. Don't be the same. You could, and if you are, that's okay. But try to reach out of the box a little bit. Try something different.
Right.
I always bring out Rafiki. Do any of you guys remember Rafiki?
Rafiki. No.
I remember that. What the heck is that?
Lion King.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Oh
Rafiki,
yes.
And what I got out of that whole show watching it, obviously I was older, but Rafiki hit him in the head. The guy says, "Hey, why'd you do that?" He goes, "It's change. Change is good."
That's right.
It's great to take a change.
That's right.
So that's what I took out. So I always instilled it into my kids. You got to try things new. Change is good.
Right.
Don't be afraid of change.
Yeah.
Right.
Open other doors, and you never know what it's going to bring to you.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. That's it's good that you're doing things with STEM. That's so important. To me, even when Obama had made that comment, I think right prior to his inauguration, he's like, kids try to be a rapper. Nothing against rappers. I love rap music.
Right, of course.
Focus on education and try to go into the science and engineering, and that's where the money is at, and so on and so forth. You try to shift it a little bit. Some people will take it as good, and some may take it as bad, but at least it'll open a door in somebody's mind.
Well, this is the thing that I've realized. Look at a lot of they call them the people who are journeymen and journeywomen. These are people who are like people who do HVAC and electrical and they're technicians.
Right.
They're aging out. They're getting older. They want to retire. When they retire, who's going to do this type of work? America is in big trouble right now. They don't have technicians. They don't have the manpower or young lady power to take these positions over. And so that's why we're here. That's why we're fighting. That's why it's people like you, Chris, and you, brother, to make sure that you guys are carrying the torch and carrying the information. And don't get me wrong, we're in that tech world. We're here with the green screen. We like animation. Matter of fact, we're looking at maybe starting up a gaming division here at 2526 Studios.
Nice.
Because that's where it's going.
Count me in. Count me in.
Hey, brother, let me tell you, the animation, the animation world makes more than the movie industry.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy, but that's what it is. And so we're trying to stay up with the trends. We're trying to keep it moving. We're going to be building a top-notch recording studio here. Just on the other side of my green screen, we have another room, and that has a 3-time Grammy Award winner in it. His name's Prince Board. He was a founding member of the Black Eyed Peas. He's in-house for 2526 Studios. So we're getting ready to start dropping some serious funky music out of this thing.
Nice.
Get ready. It's coming out of 2526 Studios.
I'll be checking that out. I'll definitely be checking out. You guys at home, check that out as well. I'm going to go ahead and put everything I can into the description. You guys, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like. Hey guys, I want to thank my special guest, Rodney Allen Rippy, for coming out. I appreciate it. Thanks for enlightening us on your career, magnificent career. Also, I want to thank you guys, the viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. We're going to continue this topic over to the next channel, which is Open Topic every Friday. So come check us out. I'll leave the description on that. Brown, who do we got going on the next show?
The next show is going to be exciting. I'm going to like this one also. It's going to be another great one. We got a gentleman that is an ex-United States Marine. He is also an ex-LAPD. He's going to enlighten us on a lot of good information, such as gun ownership responsibility, excessive force, which was a conversation we had a while back, and why they're using it, and at least why we think they're using it. And then also teen drivers. We're going to get into some great topics. I'm excited to get into these things, and I know you guys are going to love it. So stay tuned, subscribe, like. We look forward to seeing you.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. See you in the next one.